on Made in SA, we take it to the lab with science lover Thobile Masinga.
My dream is to be a forensic chemist.
Whoa, that's hardcore crime scene science. Forensic chemistry is the process of analyzing evidence found at a crime scene to get to the bottom of a mystery.
To be successful in this job, you need to really have passion for investigation.
That needs some serious lab skills and a dose of curiosity. Does Thobile have the right stuff to help get justice served? Well, she definitely has the drive. But it will take much more than that to solve her forensic mystery. To get to the bottom of things, Thobile will have to work her way through the lab and use skills she never really paid attention to before. This is how we roll on Made in SA, where we celebrate young people of excellence and give them a kickstart on the road to making their dream a reality.
My name is Thobile Masinga. I am 21 years old and I live in Innovator. I would describe myself as I talk a lot, not an outgoing person. I'm just outspoken, I'm just free. My dream is to be a forensic chemist, and I actually started knowing that I want to be a forensic chemist in my first year. I was in 2011. I love science because it's very broad. It gets you to think about like a lot of things. I think it's just much more different from the other things that people actually do love. So science is just the best for me. I love church. Church is actually a free place for me, but I do love watching movies, and it's horror movies and comedy. And I also love going to gigs, concerts, seeing all my favorite bands and sing along and just be a rock star. The special people in my life, it has to be my aunt, Duduzile, my dad, Franz, and also my mother, Mama Lolo, and also my friends. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be here in life. I don't think I'd be studying, or I don't think I'd be anything that I am today. I think my friends are very important because they actually help me to get out there and then do, other things, and then just, show me the way, even though I'm just very hard sometimes.
My name is Franz Masinga. Thobile Masinga, she's my daughter. She's my firstborn. She's a very cool girl. She's very respectful. She's very understanding too. She doesn't have a lot of complaints to me.
My name is Alan Pupeta. I've known Thobile for the past 2 years. The first year, it was just on social media. And then I moved to Braamfontein. That's when I met her for the very first time in person. And then we've been best friends from then.
I try to convince myself I am
My name is Mahlatsa Teddy. I met Thobile in 2011 at UJ DFC campus. We're doing the same course. Since then we became friends, but then we became close in 2012.
She's a person who does her own things. She's so unique. She really doesn't conform to the usual things people do. She's a good person inside, and I think it also takes quite a lot for someone to understand her.
She's a fun person and wild at times, but wild in her own unique way. Like, she knows what she wants and how to get it. Like, she goes out there without anything stopping her. And she's clever too. What irritates me about her sometimes, when she doesn't want to understand at all. Like, when you're trying to tell her something and she just being hard, don't want to understand it. That irritates me a lot.
Exactly, there we go.
She's got her way of doing things, and if you try to introduce her to another way of doing things, if she doesn't like it, she doesn't even want to try it. She doesn't want it, that's it.
What I love about Thobile, the person she is, she's a really nice person. She's a good friend also, and a good best friend to have.
What I love about her the most is the music. She can compose, she can come up with melodies, she can sing. I am a musician, I connect with that. That's what I love the most about her and the science.
What I think of her dream being a forensic scientist, I think it's a good thing. If she really loves it, I think she should go for it. I mean, it's something she loves. You know, nobody can choose something for you which you don't love, so she should go for it. I'm cool with it. I'll just support her 100%.
It's great for her because she loves science. She doesn't only like it because of school. We even talk about it when we're at home. We watch documentaries together. We watch forensic science shows together. It's something that she's passionate about, and I believe she's going to be very good at it.
What made me decide to follow the stream was, I think I watched a lot of medical detectives on TV. I was too excited to actually do the same things that I'm actually doing. And then I thought maybe I could be something like them one day. And then I just wanted to do something out of the ordinary. And a lot of people don't do it in South Africa, so I thought it would be perfect if I just try it and follow it. The subjects that I needed from high school, it's biology, but then we're gonna need physical science, and then you're gonna need chemistry, which is actually all together in one thing, and then you're also gonna need mathematics, pure maths, not maths literacy.
What I think of her dream becoming forensic scientist, I think her dream will definitely come through, and for her it's a good move.
I think it's important because you get to do different things. You don't do the same thing each and every day. You get to meet people, and you actually do your own profession. You get to see your own results, and that's why it's important to me. I don't have to go to someone else to actually tell me the results. I can do it on my own and work it out.
Go Toby, go Toby, go Toby, do your thing.
After the break, Thobile will do her thing when she meets her coach. She'll have to investigate and figure out what's in a sample taken from a real crime scene. Thobile's voice is clear, but will all else become clear when she works on a serious life and death case? Welcome back to Made in SA, the show that's behind Mzansi's go-getters. Earlier we met the musical lab lover Thobile Masinga, who dreams of solving mysteries through science. Time to meet her coach.
My name is Pule Majoro. I am in Department of Health, Forensic Pathology and Medicine. I work as a Chief Forensic Officer, who is basically the supervisor of the leaders of scene investigators. To be successful in this job, you need to really have passion for investigation of medical, legal, unnatural, or any death other than natural. And you should be able to have an intriguing mind as far as trying to solve the problems about the unexplained death. What I love about my job is when justice is served. So you actually get excited when the case is closed and the perpetrator is actually arrested. The biggest misconception is when people think that we are working in a government mortuary. It is completely a misconception. We do a medical legal investigation of death. We think cause of death is the manner of death. There was motor vehicle accident, for an example. There was poisoning. That is the manner of death. But which particular body part was affected in order for that person to die, that is what is important in our field.
I'm actually feeling all excited because I want to know what's going to happen today. So yeah, let's just go and see. My feelings about meeting my coach, I'm very nervous because I don't even know what to expect. I'm not even sure whether he's going to be strict or whatsoever, but then I'm really excited to see what's going to happen there in the lab, you know, checking out all the chemicals and everything that I'm going to use. And I think it's going to be a very great experience for my future dream, and I think everything is just going to work out very well because I'm going to be learning new things today.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Pule. How are you?
I'm good, and you? I'm Thobile.
Thobile.
Yes.
Pleased to meet you. Tell me, why did you choose this career path?
First of all, I love chemistry, and I thought it would be a very good thing to actually solve mysteries because it's just a good combination. So yeah, I'm very interested in chemistry.
Excellent.
Okay, so why do you do pathology? Why do you love it?
Why do we actually do pathology? It's it's actually to determine the medical legal cause of death. In other words, we also help the judiciary system and furnish them with the necessary evidence to actually execute people who were involved in any criminal activities. In other words, really after having done an autopsy, samples are taken further for investigation, where chances are you'll come very handy to assist us solve mysteries in future. I've got a very interesting challenge. I hope you'll solve that mystery.
Really? I hope so too.
Please come with me. Mrandoke, Kupa case. Thank you. So Thobile, this is your challenge for today. Yeah, we have a case here that we're going to discuss it later onwards. It's really about unclear circumstances or manner of death. So you will be assisting us in trying to find the preliminary circumstances or findings of death, as well as the chief findings, post-mortem findings that you think you anticipate.
Okay, it sounds very interesting and I'm excited into doing it.
Coat of armor, check. Now, Thobile is ready to get her hands dirty to clean up the mystery behind Mrs. X's death. Welcome back to Made in SA. Today we're getting our test tubes and beakers on with forensic documentary buff and chemistry enthusiast Thobile. But unlike her favorite TV shows, today she's in a real lab with a real-life chief forensic officer and coach to piece together a real-life case. She has the passion, but does she have the skills to uncover an unsolved cause of death?
Welcome to the Toxygen.
Thank you.
This is the lab where you're going to spend the rest of your day today here.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics. Have a lab coat on, and then please feel comfortable. Go through the case, and then familiarize yourself with the case. And I'll call you as soon as the body of Mrs. X is here.
Okay. Case of Mrs. X, adult black female aged 35. The scene investigating officer in case number 1, exhibit related. We are provided with an exhibit, for example, a capsule, tablet, powder, unknown substance. This has been confiscated from an unknown deceased, and police require identification of active ingredient within the substance to finalize the case. We are provided with an urine specimen from a victim of a car accident. So whatever they're going to be telling me today, should I fill it in here?
Yes, you need to write as much information as possible,
Okay.
more especially from the crime scene investigator. Okay, Dovi. So what happened to this scene, Utanghoyona?
Apparently, I was called by the police and there was a woman who was found lying in the car. And then according to my observation, when I arrived at the scene, there was tablets next to the body and remaining of a bottle of the whiskey lying next to the body. And then all the exhibit was already taken by the doctor who was at the scene.
Did they say on estimate when did this incident happen?
Apparently the disease was last seen yesterday night, and then the alleged date of death is this morning.
Was there any sample of decomposition, or was the body still pretty much preserved and fresh?
The body was still fresh with the rigor mortis.
Okay, so basically saying that what you saw was actually like the tablets and the whiskey bottle.
Yes.
So was it an accident, or did the person just bump into a robot, or what happened exactly?
The person actually just bumped into the robot.
Oh, okay. So basically it wasn't just one of those accidents where it's just a hit and run and then...
No.
Okay.
And I think you need to tell me, what do you think about this case?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Your possible suspicions or alleged manner of death or cause of death.
Since this person was actually in an accident, I think it's actually a very interesting case because this person had a bottle of whiskey and there was also tablets there. So what might possibly have happened would be, okay, this person got drunk and then she couldn't control herself anymore, and then she probably fell asleep. So I think because the docs actually did take the sample of your urine, you can just use a toxicology test and then find exactly what happened with that. And then you can also check the levels of alcohol, which is very interesting also.
I think we have all the necessary information that you needed. Let's go into the lab and see if you can solve our mystery.
Okay.
Hello, Prudence. Hi, Thobile, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. This is the urine sample that we collected from autopsy from Mrs. X, right? But before I give it to you, we need to sign chain of custody, which basically is important because we need to ensure that the specimen that we took from autopsy is still the same that with the one that we're going to present in court, right? So this is basically states that I collected it from the doctor, and then you're going to be taking it from me and you're going to test it. Thank you.
Hello, Thobile. I'm Jonas. I'm going to be helping you with the elimination.
Hey, Jonas, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So we have urine tests here, so we need to do some tests. So you're gonna help me?
Yeah. We're going to
Okay.
do an immunoassay test. It's an antigen-based test, antigen-antibody-based test. But before we do the test, we first have to reconstitute the calibrators and the controls.
So the test that I'm gonna be doing today, I will be checking the levels of drugs that was in the body during the time of the accident and what types of drugs were they.
Okay, Thobile, you can get started.
Okay.
The point of calibrating the machine is so that you will be able to screen the samples for the drugs. So the calibrators give you an indication of what type of drug is in there because it's a known concentration, and then when you're basically working with the samples, you'll know exactly what type of drug the sample is positive for or it's not positive for. What Thobile is currently doing, she's basically dissolved the calibrators with distilled water, and they're currently on the rock and roller.
I think Thobile is doing very well because she's actually interested in this. She struggled here and there in the lab, but Jonas is there to assist her as a teaching assistant at our toxicology lab. So she should be able to actually understand the process, the whole process. On receival of the body and the case itself, presentation of the case to her, I thought she was actually quite spot on. Possible tests that we can actually do, she was spot on. She spoke about toxi sampling. With just the evidence that there was a bottle of whiskey, she could say alcohol should be taken, a blood alcohol sample should be taken. So those were spot on preliminary test or analysis that you can think of doing, and I was quite impressed with that. So I think she's doing very well, and with a little bit of practicals, she can actually make a good analyst.
Test is all about, I want to test the drugs that are actually present in the person's body and how much of it was actually present in there. So basically what we're doing here is that we're mixing different chemicals that actually are going to lead us to the whole mystery, and then we'll be able to find out exact answer.
Thobile is conducting a very delicate experiment. She must carefully place a few drops of the urine sample into the device so it can be tested for what drugs are present and how much of the drugs are there. The results will give clues as to how Mrs. X died. If the drug concentration is high, this would have badly affected Mrs. X's driving and most likely have caused the car accident. One wrong move from Thobile could contaminate the sample and ruin the results. She'll need to be very careful and extremely patient.
Here you have your relative light units, your RL values, and this is basically your drug concentration. So the higher the RLU value, if you have a higher RLU value, the lower the drug concentration. The higher the drug concentration, the lower the RLU values.
I'll go give Mr. Pula the results.
Come in. Hi, Thobile.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. So, how was your day?
It was very interesting and tiring at the same time, but I enjoyed my day overall. And we did the test, and I have found very interesting measures here. For example, remember we have to check the concentration and everything else.
Yes.
And so the concentration of all the drugs that were present in the system were very high. But the one that came out like the most was actually the opiate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then so that's basically the one that we actually found there to be coming out of the whole range.
Okay, Thobile, I see you actually, our patient actually tested positive for a couple of drugs here. And so, what is your finding thereafter?
Okay, Mr. Pule, my conclusion is, unless if there was someone else driving the car, this woman would have had a car crash with this amount of alcohol or drugs in her body.
Okay, remember that though we said this morning that there was no suspicion of foul play,
Yes.
the body was intact and there was no sign of assault.
Yes.
So in other words, based on your findings as well, we can confirm that this was a typical case of drug overdose.
Precisely, yes.
And the case can be closed as that. And I believe this has been a great help from you and your toxicologist in the lab.
Of course, it was very nice and interesting. I wish I could just do it all over again, but it takes so much time. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys have helped me, and yes.
And now you've realized that forensic is not about CIS only.
No, it's not. Yes,
Okay.
I've realized. So thank you, Mr. Pule.
It's my pleasure.
I loved everything that I did today, and I really enjoyed my day. What was very difficult about the urine, it's because I don't know where it really comes from. But for me, it's not better than blood, so I prefer blood than just urine, because urine is just a bit nasty. When I started, I was very nervous, but then as the whole thing continued, I was very just excited. You know, everything was just running very well, and I was very happy about the whole thing that happened today. The most valuable lesson that I learned today is to just listen. You need to listen, you need to understand whatever you're doing at the lab. And you also need to be careful about the things that you do at the lab. Because if you do one simple mistake, then everything would just go wrong. So that is just what I've learned, and there's actually a lot of things that I've learned, but that is the most important thing that I actually picked up today.
I really see a bright future for Thobile. She pays attention to detail, and I've realized that she's very passionate about her work when she's on her work, and definitely I think she will go very far in her career.
Case closed. Go Thobile!